Hello guys, it's Kelly. Welcome to my crack book, and then this will be uploaded and available on my YouTube channel afterwards. Amber's computer's playing up at the moment, so it might be delayed, and eventually I will put both up at the same time, but my laptop's not powerful enough to run all of my social media accounts at the same time at this particular moment. Anyway, I need to make a phone call. I know it's a very, very, very late phone call, but it's to 111, so to the police. It's a non-emergency call. I need to get some advice from the police department on which direction I'm taking once I have all this paperwork together by Friday. Now, I've made calls like this on numerous occasions, and one of the challenges that I have with what I do, what you don't see on Crackbook, is that when I'm on my phone, I can't run any of my apps because, one, if I show you now, let me unlock. So if I go into my phone now, already all my apps are set back again to my cloud. I don't know if you can see. You might be able to see, you might not. So they're all basically set back to having to download them again, which is really fucking annoying. And I'm having lots of problems with equipment and things like that. So I can't record while I'm on the phone. I am an absolute techno fuckwit, like seriously. I just want to be able to sit, write, print, post, make phone calls, speak to who I want to speak to, and that's it. And it's really not easy to do that in any form of structure, especially when you're just a mum on a mission and you get a lot of doors closed and you get a lot of issues. And even when I was living in Leyland, I was very, very, very involved in Leyland, by the way, in my local community. And this is really important that this is on this video, because after I've sent this video, after I finish this phone call, I'm not going to tell them at the time that I am currently live. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because I feel once I make this phone call, I am going to ask for the recording of the phone call to be sent to the Chief of Police. As you know, I have a court case pending against Hampshire Chief of Police for a matter that occurred 3 months ago, pretty much to this date. I think we're a few days off, where I was unlawfully and unnecessarily detained by PC. I get these PCs names mixed up, and also because I don't really know how to deal with this situation at the moment. I'm hoping my sound and everything's fine. I'm on my laptop, it's shit. You're probably going to get fuzz, things like that. But I need my phone to make the phone call, I'm afraid. So, and my battery doesn't last very long. So, one of the reasons that I need to record this is because I need a witness of this phone call. And the reason that I need a witness to this phone call is I've made many of these phone calls before, and I've made them literally pretty much on a regular basis since Aaron and Faith were taken on December 2000. So I'm getting dates confused at the moment. I'm trying to think of, this is one of the problems that I've got. I've signed off sick, and one of the reasons that I've signed off sick is to give me a chance to get my own life in order, and one of that means this paperwork. So literally from Monday, I'm going to be literally going over to the Children's Centre, where I've got a couple of people who are going to give me a hand with the kids while I literally go all the way through this paperwork and get all of this paperwork into order. And the reason that I need to do this is because I now have to start asking questions on whether Aaron and Faith's case is very, very different to everybody else's. And that because of what I was involved in 2010 and what I was doing and what I was probably not unnecessarily realising what I was necessarily getting involved in. And I had a lot of people telling me that, you know, in fact, even the first social worker I spoke to on the 5th of December, which was the first person who came out when Save the Family made the referral, and the referral went over to child protection and not to people with adult special needs, family, SENs, things like that. So immediately it went to child protection. One of the other reasons it went immediately to child protection was because they did what they do, their little checks on their computer on the families. And the moment that come up, I came up with what was called a MARIC meeting. Now, the MARIC was done in Preston, and the reason the MARIC was done is because I attended A&E. No, I didn't attend A&E. I attended a midwife appointment when I was pregnant with Aaron, and not Dean, sorry, Stephen. Dean's never thrown a glass in my face. Stephen had thrown, well, he hadn't intentionally, and this is the problem with stuff like this, he hadn't intentionally gone to smash the glass in my face. He'd gone to throw his drink in my face, not that it's any better, but he'd gone to throw his beer, because I was whinging about him drinking. He'd gone to throw his beer in his face, my face, but as he had done that, he'd cracked down. That's why I've got a scar on this side of my face. He'd cracked down on the side of my face. I actually have a scar here on the side of my face, which is also why, another reason why I need these calls recorded. And the reason that I need these calls recorded is because I was actually in what is classed a DV relationship with Aaron and Faith's father. As you know, I don't publicly talk about Aaron and Faith's father on this matter, but after a number of calls that went out to the police from my neighbours, or on one occasion where I hit the lifeline in my house because my house phone had been smashed up and my mobile had been smashed up, and I managed to hit the lifeline that was in my house. And that was the first call that I ever made for myself. And on occasion, he'd locked me out with Aaron in the house, and he was only 6 weeks old, and wouldn't let me back into my house, not his, my house. I shouldn't say that we were a couple, but he moved into my home and brought devastation and damage to my family and to the life of the children that we brought in. That came back to hit me like 4 years later, just because they did a search and this MARIC come up. Now, one of the other problems with the police is whenever I deal with the police, I have never, ever, ever seen what comes up when the police put Kelly Cotton in the system. Now, today, an incident has occurred where we were at the Coffee Cup, where there's like a children's play centre and well, a children's play zone, sand pit and stuff. Now, they have this level area where it goes up to what they've got, like little seats and stuff for the children, and it's like made into an aeroplane. Now they've got some rocks all the way around it, but on one side it's all been flattened and dug out, so you trip as you go up the step, what little kids do, and then the aeroplane is immediately in front. Now Elijah today, for the record, Elijah is a 3-year-old little boy. He's tripped up the step and he's hit the aeroplane, and he's cut here on the side of his face. But the thing is, he's caught just on the outside of his lip, and it has gone a bit deeper than a mum sort of going, oh, it will just scab over and dry. Now, I'm quite au fait on things like this, because with being an EDS family, and this is another reason why I'm not going to be telling them that I'm going to be recording. And if you can't stay with this live all the time, that's fine. This is I do these lives so I can sit there later on, and the videographer will go through and literally do all the subscriptions and the scribes when I do a freedom request on myself. This is also going to come up whenever I break my gag. Literally, that's what they do. So I'm going to be asking the court. So literally, don't forget, every time I come on here and talk about Aaron and Faith being taken by Flintshire County Council, by District Judge Andrew Shaw, and by PC Stephen Lewis, and by Cheryl fucking I'm going to kick your fucking ass one day. Take that as a threat or a fucking promise, I don't know, but one day, I don't care if it's in fucking hell, girl, I'll go to fucking hell to go and meet you and face you, and you know what you've done to my family. deserves a fucking kicking around the fucking park, girl, with a bunch of girls. If we were in a school playground, girl, and you did that to something like in family from where I'm from, we wouldn't deal with you with the police. And actually, if you go even further, and just for the record, police officers, because you are going to be watching this and this will be handed into the police, hence why I'm making both sides of the coin now live, because I've now had 2 other police numbers sent to me by Lisa Bartle, who's been causing much hassle since this so-called loan. And if I told you the steps and stages, it's like a loan shark. It'd be interesting to see how many people she's given money to and caused issues in their lives. So I've already had many reports about her turning up drunk at people's cases as a Mackenzie friend, and I feel the police need to look at it from my point of view as well. But that's not why I'm making this phone call right now. And why I need to repeat on this video why it's important I do this without. And if I was in a DV relationship right now, and my partner walked in through that door, and I needed to get evidence on what was going on inside closed doors, behind closed curtains, where you then live a life out there. Well, I actually didn't, because with Stephen, I walked down the road for a fucking year before I could afford to get my tooth fixed. It really pissed me off, especially when you just started self-employment and your first day of fucking uni. It's, yeah, so anyway. Another story in the book. But if I was in a DV relationship and I had to record evidence and I knew I was going to get a fucking kicking, like with Stephen used to disappear for a couple of days, and it used to be on the script days, and I didn't understand methadone when I first met Stephen. So I was in a world that I did not understand and on territory that I didn't get. It wasn't my world, it wasn't my life. It wasn't anything that I did, no association. I just literally met the man walking my dog, and we got together from there. I was on methadone, sorry, he was on methadone. I was on morphine. I have EDS. I was on morphine, I had morphine patches, tramadol. He was on methadone. He was a decorator. He was off for an abscess. I never put the proper association together. I never had this life and world in my life ever. I lived in a middle-class suburban cul-de-sac in a 3-bedroom detached house with, you know, a golden retriever, 2 dogs, and previously been divorced. I lived in a rented property, and my ex-husband kept the home, and he had the boys every other weekend, and that's how we lived in Leyland. He lived up the road. And then I met Stephen, and I entered into a completely different world. But with that, what it created on the system with the police was whenever you come to deal with me, you come in 2s. The reason for this was, on one occasion when the police arrived at 12 Birchwood, Leyland, Port Preston, can't remember the postcode, and it's on this because obviously this is going to go to evidence to the police. And I hope I do get this phone call before I ramble off. Done. It's now 11:11, so to strike peace. So 11:11, if you all know, just take a moment, think of peaceful harmony, peaceful conversation. And that's another reason why I needed to make this live, because as you know, I have a diagnosis as Asperger's. That means that legally any person who's a police officer or any service person should only ever communicate and talk to me with a legal advocate who's trained in Asperger's to communicate to the neurotypicals what an Asperger brain is trying to tell the numbnuts. Shouldn't really say that, that's disability discrimination to the neurotypicals. And if the neurotypicals had to walk around with, hey, I'm a neurotypical, you know, it would be considered, hey, why the fuck do you want to give me that label? But hey, us Aspies have to do that. But, you know, it just means that, you know, we're the upgrade, and we're here to save the fucking planet, for fuck's sake, because you guys are doing a fucking shit job of it. So the Lord decided that he needed to make sure we used a little bit more of our brain, and people that like to study and write paperwork called us autistic. So anyway, that's my theory on autism. Many people like my Dell to the iPad sort of thing upgrade. But anyway, I need to make this phone call. I'm not going to tell them that I'm live as I make this phone call. In fact, because it might take me quite a while, my battery's going down as well. And I don't know how this phone call is going to go either, because, like I said, I don't know what happens when I flag up on the system. I've had fucking, what are they called, sent to me before. It's really funny. And I'm going to say all this quickly before I go on here, because I'm not going to say anything else to you guys. I'm just going to speak to them on the phone, and they could answer straight away. The reason I'm doing this on a Thursday night is because we've got Victorious here. Victorious is basically takes over the complete common of Portsmouth, and they have lots of different venues, stages, festivals, gigs. It's called Victorious. Now, 3 years ago, me and Ding were going to hit Victorious. Ding's DJ, music producer, blah, 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 go network. Now, literally, prior to Victorious, our then Prime Minister, Theresa May, seriously been fucking around these last 4 years. We've got a revote soon. 2020, I think we revote. So funny, this is 22nd. So when she was here in Portsmouth, I had my car taken off me on Sunday, claiming I had no insurance, and actually everything was done. My mum will even tell you. She even helped me with my money to get my MOT done, get everything done. And then literally, because I've been using this doodah, it's just happened again as well, but because I've been using this like thing to find the cheapest, I've been finding like little companies where they don't put everything up on the system properly as well. Whether or not it's deliberate, I don't know. I'm starting to look at the evidence of everything around this going on from 2010 all the way through to 2019. Some of you have been with me since the beginning in 2010 when I was the mum, Benefit Britain mum, which the Daily Mail took and spun into something else. But if you read the original Chorley Our Guardian, it wasn't about me as Benefit Britain. It was about me as the director of Challenge Britain. Now, the Daily Mail then turned it about the fact that I'd come from the benefit system. Now, I'd gone all the way through to the success principles. Now, if you look at success principles, they run a platform called the National Achievers Congress. Now, if you understand business, you'll understand workshops, seminars, and events and conferences. So coaches like me run what's called one-on-one coaching. So we do one-on-one coaching. You won't be able to afford me, so don't even go there. But one-on-one coaching, and literally either over the phone, face-to-face is even more fucking face-to-face. Over the phone, bloody, you're more expensive enough, so I won't even go there. But then we do workshops, which is a bit cheaper for people to come along and work as a group of people. And then obviously, then it goes into conferences, and then large conferences to big halls and stuff where you speak and you do what's called immersions. So for 3 days, you'll go over that. So Success Resources pretty much run all of the platforms for all the speakers. Every year, they do one called the National Achievers Congress. Now, the National Achievers Congress is a platform from everything from previous presidents, lords, entrepreneurs, successful people, basically. This platform has existed for many, 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 many years. I haven't actually checked if Epstein's spoken on it over those years, but I do need to check, because I do know that Clinton speaks on it, and a few other people speak on it. Donald Trump, as you know, speaks on it. Richard Branson speaks on it, blah, 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 blah. My position for Tony Robbins, so for the Robbins Foundation, was I was a part of their trainer. So basically you attend a UPW. So Robbins has UPW, Date with Destiny. No, so yeah, UPW, Unleash Power Within, Date with Destiny, or something else. Not here to sell, but I will be selling for next year, by the way. So I basically did like his Wealth Mastery and his Unleash Power Within. And then once you do it, you become part of his crew, you become part of his coaching. And then you either go through his coaching program to be one of his coaches, which on the 17th of May 2012, I officially graduated and started, which was my birthday. And so in 2010, I still had to put the steps. I was working with government benefits on getting work coaches. I created work coaches. It was part of Step Up Britain's model to have proper coaches in the benefit system, but to help you go through rehabilitation first and then into who you are, what you want to do, rather than just, hey, look for a job. So purpose-driven living, it was basically. Now, the problem is most of them work coaches haven't been put through the training because I'm still here. Now, the challenge with that is that it means that a lot of universal credits, which wasn't called universal credits initially, and the BLT and all those little things that I was involved in, speaking to the MP, putting through, blah, 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 which is why I was saying about Leyland. You know, I was on the, you know, I was a mum in Leyland raising 2 boys with my ex-husband down the road. This is prior to Stephen. You know, my kids went to the Catholic school, you know, they went to the nursery, the infants, and, you know, through to the high school. I was on the PTA, I was on like the neighbourhood watch committee. In fact, I ran our local one. I probably would have become MP in the area. I probably would have gone on to be sort of like chair of their fucking school and stuff. Thanks, angels. But one of the challenges is if you don't run as a business, and I was doing a lot of because I was a disabled mother and I was involved in community and stuff like that. And you don't run as a business when you're like chair of the PTA or stuff, all this sort of stuff, or involved in kids carers or things like that. My children also attended kids carers and all that things, or youth work and stuff. In this country, you have to have a structured company registered on companies' houses. Now, that company is basically so they can take tax from you. They don't give a shit about your company. If they did, then they would have banned tobacco years ago, do you know what I mean? And alcohol and all of that stuff. It would just be simple. That's bad for you. We ain't having it. It's as simple as that. We have freedom of will, freedom of choice in this country. We have free will. We can do what we want to do, but there are boundaries and guidelines which come in as statutes and laws, and they're 2 very different things. So I don't want to go off on a tangent because I really, really want to make this call, and it's very important I make it tonight. And the reason that I make it tonight is that Victorious is now going to be on through, because it's bank holiday weekend. So from now, well, from tomorrow, pretty much all the way through till Monday, it will just be festival season in Portsmouth here like crazy. Please, if you want to jump on a bus, jump on a train, chain hop, hitchhike, whatever, come down, find a tent somewhere, put it up absolutely wherever, and just enjoy it even from the outside. I think it's like 35 quid minimum a day, you know, throughout or whatever. If you've got the money, come and enjoy it and buy a ticket on the gate. You can go straight through. I think Rudimental are opening it, I think. I know New Order are there or something. I don't know who any of the other people are on it. I know who Rudimental are, however, because Rudimental inspired me in many ways through their videos and got me through a lot of challenges with Aaron and Faith. So anyway, the main reason that I'm not telling them is I'm going to send an email afterwards saying this happened, so they're going to have to listen to all this too. And because they will put the phone down, simple as that. The moment I say I'm recording or I'm live or I'm cracked up, they will put the phone down. I need the information out of this while I'm on the phone. So I'm going to press, it is 111 in there, 101. Is it 101 or 111? 101. That's American 101. 101. It's not a 999 call, so, and she'll hear I'm on speakerphone as well. Put the headphones in so she can hear.
Thank you for calling 101. We're connecting you to Hampshire Conservative Force. Press hash.
Oh, fucking pen.
You're through to Hampshire and Isle of Wight Constabulary.
If you know the extension number of the person or department you wish to speak to, press 1.
Amber, take notes,
If you need to
please.
speak to one of our custody suites, press 2. To report a crime or update one you have already reported, press 3. For all other inquiries, press 4.
Other. The ages. This is not for emergency calls, by the way. This is 101, so this puts you through to, like, if you need to speak to a police officer, leave an email, you've got a caller number, you've got a crime going on, you need to be
Your call is
direct.
in the queue and will be answered as soon as possible.
I feel quite bad for some of the services. Now I've been on the other side of a lot of it, actually. It's been quite an interesting journey, actually. Not working with them per se, but trying to see things from their point of view. So I'm making a call to Hampshire Police so I can have it logged.
We are experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. If you would like to speak to us now, please continue to hold.
I would urge you all to do what I'm doing as well. Do it live as well if you want to. And also follow up with an email. I won't really say what I'm going to be doing just yet, but you'll get the gist. Could be here all fucking night just trying to get through on the phone. I carry on talking, but if I cut out quickly, it's because they've answered. So, anyway, I might have to take Elijah. I'm going to go see
We are experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. If you would like to speak to us now, please continue to hold.
Yeah, where Elijah split his lip. Now, the body's quite self-healing, especially with EDS. So in the morning, I'll know with the swelling whether or not he really needs to go and get it glued. But because of the way the system exists at the moment, I've got records and files all over the place. I need to blow my nose. Sorry, guys, I'll get down to the phone in a minute now.
We are experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk
It makes me very nervous
offers information
going
and a
to
range of
A&E.
services. If you would like to speak to us now, please continue to hold.
I'm assuming they have somebody 24 hours at this place. And the reason that I'm not phoning like tomorrow morning and stuff is that they'll be literally all pulled into, I've got massive hay fever, they're doing all the grass, cleaning up all the place because it's Victorious weekend and stuff. It's like, you know, pride of fucking Preston, but not in that way. Proud Preston and all, not Preston, Portsmouth.
We are experiencing
Do
a high volume
gardens
of
up
calls
and
at
stuff
present.
like that.
We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at
Have a Google while you're waiting for the call, if you're just waiting for the call. So if you're here for the first time, by the way, and you're wondering why I'm making this call, then Google Kelly Cotton, give you an idea of how long I've been around, what I've been up to, what I do. But this time, I felt rather than making the call and sitting here and having the conversation as I do most evenings and stuff like that in between things, I thought that I would record, but unfortunately I've no memory on my phone. My phone's playing up, I can't do that. I could set up a camera, I don't have one. blah, 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 blah. I want to be documenting all of this now because I'm going to put the only way to really do it is to put it together in an exposed documentary with balance.
Our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. If you would like
so
to
basically,
speak
I'm
to us
going to
now,
keep
please
calling
continue to hold.
all the way through until I get on Monday an email on the desk with all of this information. But I need to protect my ass and protect my kids because obviously this links to stuff that's way, way, way over my head, like way over my head. I'm just a mum. I'm just a mum with a psychology degree who's worked as a cleaner, taxi driver, shoe shop assistant, sales,
We are experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your
coaching,
call as soon as one of our contact
and
officers
come up
becomes
with a
available.
unique
Our webpage
idea.
at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. If you would like to speak to us now, please continue to hold.
Yes, I would like to speak to you now. It is 11:30 here in the UK. My name is Kelly Cotton, for those that need to search down and narrow it down. If we didn't have names given by our parents, then we wouldn't be able to identify each other. And if we didn't have birth certificates, then we wouldn't be able to identify ourselves per se, even though the birth certificate is probably one
We
of...
are experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. If you would like to speak to us now, please continue to hold.
Can't remember what I was saying before that went in. So anyway, the point of this phone call is I basically need to have a lot of dots put on the system, and also start working out where some of the corruption is laying within the police side of all of
We are
this.
experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of
More likely
services.
to be the
If
first
you would like
person
to speak to us
sentiment.
now, please continue to hold.
I really need a pen that's working because I need to write quite a lot of scribbles, but I'd need to unplug everything and go through the kitchen and try and ransack a drawer. I did have one somewhere. I managed to get a really cool pen from the sailing club the other day, proper big thick one that I can write with. These are a nightmare from someone like me. So anyway, it should be on the system and they're not allowed to cuff me. Do you know what's on your police record system? Have you ever done a
We
freedom
are
request?
experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. If you would like to speak to us now, please continue to hold.
Yes, I would like to hold. So anyway, when I finish, I can do a lot of, Amber's going to have so much work to do this week, or I could do with somebody else doing it. I need mass amount of emails ready to send a lot of stuff through, coming up to, obviously it's 22nd now, the inquiry done by the Department of Education Council. So basically the people...
We are experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. If you would like to speak to us now, please continue to hold.
So if you imagine that your local council, so your local MP, wants to know if there's a problem in your area, he will do an inquiry, he'll put it out in the paper, he'll say blah, 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 and people will respond or they won't, and that's how he gets his feedback. So the committee, so if you understand what committee is, go to a football team, there's a committee. So the committee of the Department of Education, so basically the Department of Education is what funds children's social care. Adult social care is funded by housing council tax.
We are experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. If you would like to speak to us now, please continue to hold.
So basically, this has cause for the community. So basically, we started in July. So all of those who joined us for our big pressure group during July to put the pressure on, fantastic, well done. Within 17 days, the Council or Department of Education pulled an inquiry into children's social care and the practices of social care and the policies and procedures and timeframes and everything, and whether or not this was affecting their decisions. They're willing to stay by this, obviously
We are
not
experiencing a high volume of calls at present. We will answer your call as soon as one of our contact officers becomes available. Our webpage at www.hampshire.police.uk offers information and a range of services. Police inquiries, how can I help?
Hello there. Are you able to tell me who I'm speaking to?
Yes, my name's Melanie.
Hello there, Melanie. I'm just making a call. Unfortunately, I've got a bloody pen that's not working. I'm just making a call.
Sorry, you've got what?
A pen that's not working.
Okay.
I'm just making a call because on Friday next week, I've got to send an email through, and I'm not sure 100% who it needs to go to and what.
Sorry, I keep hearing some noise of machinery in the background.
It's because I've got my laptop on in the background and it vibrates like crazy, and my phone doesn't work properly, and you're on speakerphone.
Perhaps maybe you could take it off speakerphone. That might help.
Okay, 2 seconds. I have to put you on my headphones. Now can I hear you?
Yes.
No, it's still on speakerphone. There you go. I've got headphones on now. So anyway, I need to make a phone call on Monday morning, and there's Victorious on, so I know everybody's going to be really, really busy with Victorious and stuff like that. But are you aware of the Epstein case in America at the moment?
What case?
Epstein case.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm one of the people, and I live here in Portsmouth, that's been behind the pressure group for child trafficking and things like that. Now, I've got a couple of issues when Victorious is on, because the last time it was on and every time it's on, I've had issues with the police through no fault. The ICPC has upheld my complaints for harassment and... Yeah, you're speaking to Kelly Cotton. Cotton. Kelly, Kellie, Cotton. Charlie Oscar Tango Tango Alpha Mike. Well, I'm an overloaded mum, really, who's found herself a little bit knee-deep in a lot of stuff, and I basically need to offload it into a witness statement as a criminal act, really. I've literally witnessed way too many unlawful and unnecessary removals based on just the campaign that I did on my own children. It's now got to a point now where I really do feel that this needs to be reported as a crime, and I'm wanting... Well, basically, I'm reporting state kidnap within the system, and what I'm wanting to do is email. I don't want to come into the station. I don't feel safe enough to come into the station. I have 2 children. I've had children taken for forced adoption myself. This is a very personal battle. This is not just a nosy neighbour. This is a very personal battle. I have now got a solicitor here, and they can do so much of my case, but they can't do all of it. And I have a case in against the Chief of Police here at Hampshire, and they want me to file all my paperwork this week. Now, I'm concerned that if I had filed it all this week, like I was told to do so, that I would get further harassment from the police this weekend if I went. Well, if you pull up on my name, you'll see that there was an ICPC upheld complaint. I don't know if you've got access to that. Okay, what systems do you have access to there then? Because obviously I'm not coming through emergency. Okay, well, one of the challenges that I've got here in Portsmouth is they're relocating the police station at the moment. So has it actually relocated? So you're no longer at the roundabout anymore at all. So you've definitely moved the police station. This is why we're having challenges and stuff to be able to go in to the police station as well. So where's that now be relocated to? Airport Service Road. I can get a lot of this stuff on Google, but I have problems with the internet. I'm in a tower block and in Somerstown, and a mother on universal credits at the moment. But the challenge is that I've got is I'm wanting to speak to somebody here, but not directly face to face, because I have complex trauma. I've signed off sick. The reason that I have complex trauma is the police trigger me off. Social services trigger me off because of their actions around my family, that I now have a matter going into court to sue, which makes it very difficult in such a corrupt council. So I'm wanting to communicate with somebody in such a way that means that I can safeguard and protect myself from the police at the time that I give testimonies against police officers that have been involved in unlawful and unnecessary off-duty detainments of children. And I have evidence of this, and now nearly 25,000 cases worldwide that this has happened to. I have worldwide social media. You're welcome to Google. I was the one who was arrested with David Cameron, and my party was then arrested and hung in his cell in Winchester, Hayden. So this is me, whistleblowers now coming to the police to say, look, you know, this vigilante group that's gone after paedophile hunters and stuff is now gathering way too much information and intel, that it's about time that the police officially, rather than just having Rotherham matters where it gets brushed under the carpet, and Epstein, as we know, connects to Prince Andrew and stuff in this country, it's going to get brushed under. Well, there is formal evidence. So at the end of the day, in this country, they're going to do their best, damn best, to brush this under a carpet while focused on Brett Sting. Now, there is a number of us that aren't going to allow this to happen, and we do run with XR. We do take direct action, and in October we're going to be taking direct action ready for November, and obviously November the 5th, you know, it's going to, you know, to make sure that the curtains are removed from what's going on behind closed doors. So it's not going to be covered up. So I would like to have this phone call. Obviously you do record your phone calls. I would like this to, I'm going to actually send an email over to, I don't know if it's still Pinkney, but I'm going to send over, I have the direct email for the Chief of Police because of my ICP complaint and court case. So I'm going to let her know that I have, you know, called up to the first point of call to speak to somebody, because I don't just need to log a complaint. I need this call to now go to the CPS to decide whether or not the information that I hold has enough criminal activity to be held in the Crown Courts. And the only way that I can do that is if the police give me a crime number. And I can say now that the reporter that's working with me now has 92 families that's come forward, and they are willing to come in with the class action, and we've got more and more coming in each day. And if I was asking people to write witness statements, there is now currently an inquiry in Parliament, but the end date is on the 30th of this month, and I'm pushing and pushing and pushing, but I'm getting more and more evidence coming in, and it concerns and worries me that a novice and somebody who's not qualified or experienced is dealing with such sensitive nature, and I feel this is a matter for the police and not myself. I do have a degree in psychology, and that's about it. That's really no good in this society and day of world. Well, I've got a solicitor doing it, but I'm entitled to legal aid, so it means that they can't do everything. So what they're basically saying is the decision on whether I sue the Hampshire Police is up to me. I'm saying this isn't about money, this is about correcting paperwork, but also this is about the fact that whether children are taken unlawfully and unnecessarily anyway, the fact that the detrimental, worse than sexual, physical, emotional trauma has been created in a child, that now they are already proving that this is causing such level of abuse, that there has to be a line drawn in this now, because it must be classed as state kidnap. If you have a child and some... I understand you can't comment. I understand you can't comment, and I understand you have no prior knowledge, which is why I'm contacting and I'm asking that this call does be logged and sent to the relevant party. I don't wish for any police officer to attend my house. I do keep cameras at my door and I do record live, and they well know this. I am very well known. I was arrested with David Cameron on his election night. I'm grateful that you're now typing. You know, I do need this logged with the police, because I have reported since 2013 the kidnap of Aaron and Faith, which were two of my children in Wrexham, and it was involved in the fact that I was in the media in 2010, and because I was helping people in the benefit system go self-employed, I was discovering too many people who'd been sexually, physically and emotionally abused in care, and people who had been medically diagnosed with conditions, and I was asking a lot of questions. So you know, I went very much down the rabbit hole, and going from somebody who used to believe that social workers helped people, they were just a bit underfunded, to now having evidence of offshore adoption agencies that are trafficking children to paedophile rings, and that's being done through children's social care. I'm also an independent reporter for a couple of different networks now, and I have much evidence, many memory sticks, and I'm literally on Monday gathering and collecting all of the paperwork, and I need this directed to somebody as actual witness statements and affidavits of evidence of state kidnap through children's social care. And what process do I need to follow? Okay, well, would it be possible to actually make an appointment to do that rather than just turn up? Okay, and how would I be able to be offered to make an appointment with somebody? And how would they feel about me on the fact that I'm very trigger happy, and if you ask me to cross the threshold into a police station, and I've got my two boys with me who are with me 24/7 as a result of the trauma of my children being taken on numerous occasions throughout my life, it's happening. Okay, now if I was raped by a police officer and I was in court, would I be expected to sit in the same room as that police officer? Okay, so if I have a fear of the police as a result of crimes being committed against me many times throughout my life on assault by police officers, then, and they're not allowing me to speak to the police officer directly, which forces my hand to take the matter to court, which forces my hand to take the chief of police to court, which forces my hand to have to publicly continue talking about my case to keep me public. And every day I've got children coming in that have got knives under their bed because they're being abused by foster carers. And the police haven't listened to me for years and years on this matter. I have kept logs, I have kept diaries. My book comes out in December anyway. So if people don't listen to me now, this is my final time that I'm going to ring the police, my local police, because it's my area. It's not where my children were kidnapped. So straight away, that divides me. Many of the calls coming in have not been from the Preston area because I've never associated with my hometown. However, since July, I have got involved in my local area, and I now have matters where I have cases here where I'm going, there's too many crimes going on here now. Somebody needs to bring these in, and I feel that this needs to be done. I witness crimes on a daily basis here in Portsmouth by the system. I even witnessed your own police officers bullying and intimidating homeless here in Portsmouth. But I would like to put this together in a formal statement where a police officer then has the power to take this. I'm not interested in the police. I'm interested in the Crown Prosecution Service. And the only way to get there is to follow your processes. So I'm ringing the police. It's not an emergency because nobody's being raped now, which actually they are. But I'm not eyeballing this right now. But as we know, a child is raped, somebody is abused, I'm going to get a call at some point. So right here, right now, just as somebody's on holiday, a child is being raped. So if, you know, brilliant, that would be great. If I could have that reference number for this call, that'd be great. 1908 2201 002. If I could just say as well, though, that, you know, I understand that obviously police go out and see things on a daily basis, but you have a support network with psychiatrists and things that help you. We're a public now that have called a public inquiry, and the public are uproaring now. And we could prevent within your police and save you millions and millions of pounds by communicating in a way now where people are just open and honest and transparent and clean this stuff up. They know that 5% of people are paedophiles. So if 5% of the population here are paedophiles by their statistics and they're now wanting to legalise it, then wouldn't the police want to come into different... Well, you tell that to the papers that's presented it this week. Okay, so I love that reaction. That's brilliant. So hopefully you'll be a freedom fighter like us to protect the innocence of these children. If 5% of them are doing it, or whatever statistics sit around, and they're believing that this is normal and their own conference is allowing it, then we have to say, no, you can't allow for a foster carer who's a registered paedophile to be able to abuse a child. 2 of my children have been provenly sexually abused. There is evidence, and nobody wants to do anything about it. So I'm not going away. I'm never going to go away. I do have a diagnosis of Asperger's. I am tenacious, and I'm here until the core is popped and the UK clear this up. Brilliant, excellent. So if I send the email through with this reference number and just ask them to pull the call up that I've spoken to you, I can clarify just for the nature of the call that, you know, my social media continues to bring in caseloads. It's just that I have no legal funnel, I have no authority, no jurisdiction, and no power to do anything about it. Okay. Yeah, this only works on individual matters. It doesn't work on bringing matters for other people. Apparently, I'm only a third-party witness. And who would you suggest? Yes, but I will do again because you're mentioning it. Yeah, not a problem. Excellent. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers, bye. I certainly don't want a book. They shouldn't be getting any 999 because that's actually just like a mainframe office. But anyway, I have a reference number here. And the reason that I need that reference number now is because, like she's just said, well, obviously I had to turn it off. And the reason I had to turn it off is not because she knew I was recording, or not because I wanted to, but because it completely muffles the call when you've got it on speakerphone. I'll take my headphones off. So anyway, I want to basically put every piece of evidence that I've got. So as you know, if I pull up my phone a minute, I have literally, please still watch this. I have literally 94,663 emails in my email box. I can screenshot it and post it. So you see my email, you'll see there's loads of digits and numbers, but not necessarily show you, because it's, I don't know if it's shown to you. To me, it's shown all white and blurred. There you go. No, not got it. So yeah. So within all them emails, I have everybody's stories that you've sent me, blah, 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 blah. Now, as you know, on the 30th of August this month, I'm going to bring up the inquiry now and read it out to you. So, inquiry into children social care. 20 police officers sitting there, by the way. You can fill out this inquiry too. I want the actual. Now that's the one that Research Reform wrote, which it will have a really good one, but I actually want the official Parliament one. So here's Parliament one. So the official Parliament. So Education Committee. So basically in Parliament, there'll be a room, and it will be, let me just pull you back a minute so I can talk to you. So basically in Parliament, there'll be a reading of all of what they've found through this inquiry. The chair will basically sit there and go, the decision has been made to do X, Y, and Z. We need that decision to be an investigation. The reason we need an investigation is then it will literally go through each and individual cases. So then I'm free. That's it. I get my life back. You will then just funnel into the investigation. Your cases will be investigated properly. If the chair draws that there is no issues and this is not a problem, things will stay exactly as they are. If it highlights a problem, things have to change legally. Now, let me just read the question. Let me just explain again. So Parliament in London will have meeting rooms all the way through. So you've got the House of Commons and the House of Lords. You can go in and sit into these meetings. Somewhere in Parliament, it might even be over the other side of the road in Portcullis House, but there will be a meeting where the chair of the Department of Education, so the person who heads the top, and over everybody for the Department of Education, will sit in a meeting with everyone in position, and based on all of the evidence that's been gathered by what I'm going to read out to you now, they will then make this decision. You are the only people who have the power to affect the decision. You must put your submission in. So anyway, the Education Committee, Children's Social Care Workforce Inquiry. So this is currently open, so they are accepting written submissions now. What will happen on Friday, the 30th of August, potentially at midnight, is that will close. You will not be able to access this page from there. The scope of the inquiry. The inquiry is likely to pick up on concerns about the impact of time pressures on social care work, with the increasing reports of time not being available to social workers to properly do their job. There is also likely to be a focus on issues such as the cause and impact of high turnover of staff in some social care departments across the country. Now then there's the terms of references and everything that's in there. Go through that, read that. Write that out on a piece of paper. Get a piece of paper, write it out. You come back to you so you see. Get a piece of paper, write what I've just written out. There's two main things in there. The increasing reports of time not available. So with increasing reports, listen to that. So there's been increasing reports about social workers not being able to do their jobs properly. If they haven't been able to do their jobs properly, that means their decision is flawed immediately, even in a court of law. So get a pen and paper, chill out, watch EastEnders, write that question out, mind map, draw a circle, put inquiry, draw sticks, write as many ideas around it, many ideas. If you don't know what a mind map is, go on Google mind maps and literally mind map everything. Then put it into a list. There's software that will do this for you. And then literally point to point to point, write what you want to write. And from the mainframe, expand that out into your individual personal experience and how this meant that the decision was wrong. Do it from a point of view that you understand that they're under a lot of pressure. The world is crazy. People are starving, hungry. Do you know what I mean? So bow down to win on this. If you have already done yours and you're already in the system, fantastic, hallelujah. You need to wait until the 30th. It might even be the 29th. I might have to pull this on the 29th because you're going to go in and edit it at the end. Now you can go in and keep editing. So basically, complete your Word document, which is your response to that question, your opinions, your ideas, your thoughts, your solutions, the problems, whatever it is that you want to say in relation to, because it has to be in relation to them inquiring into the impact of the time pressures on social workers. So the impact of time pressures. So Aaron and Faith were taken in a 26-week court process. Child protection is a process. Children in need is a process. It's all done over certain weeks. They have to achieve certain objectives and certain guidelines and certain things within a certain time frame. You just feel like you've been hit by a fucking brick. You don't really know what's going on. They do. You just a conveyor belt, mate. You just on a conveyor belt. So if you worked in a factory, this is why you get so many people. And like they're talking about as well, the high turnover. So the other point is the high turnover. So you can talk about building relationships, the problem about the ever-churning, how this is causing problems. How, like I've said to my social work, my health visitor yesterday, Trish, you weren't there right at the beginning when I was telling people you come through the room, you know, I'll shoot you. You haven't seen the anxieties that I've had to go through. You haven't seen everything because you weren't there at the beginning because I had 5 health visitors. And it's the same with a foster care kid. It never has the same social worker all the way through, so they never see the progression. It's just a conveyor belt. So it's really, really important that you tell everybody. So literally get onto your crack book, share it out. If you don't like me, you don't even have to say it comes from me or anybody or anything about it. Just get it out. There's other blogs people have written about it. Oh, seriously, I need to put a tissue. Got hay fever like crazy. Haven't cried once for ages since Dean left, so I don't know what's going on, if he's coming back or not yet. But one tear at the moment. I'm in numbness. I can't believe I chose the inquiry. So maybe it's just a short-term thing and he's just giving me the space to get this done and I'll speak to him after it. But, you know, like he said, if I choose all this over him, and he's going to walk away from the boys as well. But it just comes with emotional blackmail, doesn't it, when you hurt him? Things get said and done. But he did say he's got another girlfriend and she's really lovely. But again, is it true? I don't know, because he's certainly not posting about like somebody who's gone off to make his life with another woman. He's certainly not posting that way. But anyway, another story, another time. So it's really, 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 really important that by the 30th, you have had an email from them to say, thank you for your submission. You will hear from us on so and that day. If you're in this network and you haven't done it, I don't understand why you're here, because anybody can fill this out. Jack Jones down the road can fill it out. Whoever down the road can fill it out. Any person who's affected by the children care, say how you were affected, what your personal experience is with the system and how this has affected you personally. Outsiders, social workers can fill it out, police officers can fill it out. You know, put it in front of everybody, email it to your local MP and say, are you aware of this? You know, please, you know, bring this forward. Can you please bring my case forward into it? Email it to your doctor saying, please, can you send this out? Can you yourself fill it out? If you're a child protection one, get your voice, get your opinion, because they've all left the building per se, so nobody's out there advertising this. It's not in the papers every day saying, have you been affected by the care service, please come forward, we're asking. Nobody's got a mic out going, hey, we're inquiring. Nobody's got questionnaires out on the streets asking millions and billions of people. It's just on their website. If you see it, you'll know about it. So I'm here going, come on, please go have a look at it. Literally right here, right now, I'm going to cut and paste the link. If you're on this live now, police officer, if you're watching this live, please go to the link that I'm talking about. As I'm trying to explain to the police that, you know, the more I speak to people, people are coming forward. The challenges that we've got is unless people come forward, there's nothing I or anybody can do about it. If you don't put your statements in, if you don't write it, if you don't do it, then there's nothing you can do about it. And I suggest you just back away from me, unfollow me, unconnect me, because you're just wasting my time, draining me, and there's just no point you being here. And I really have got a life. I could be in fucking Spain with Dean right now, living in a cave. Do you know what I mean? So I'm here to keep pushing you through. And then when the reading comes up, I'm going to be attending the reading. I'm going to be asking every single one of you to come to Parliament to hear this reading. And I'm going to be asking you all to have your T-shirts on. I'm going to be asking you all to be present. I'm going to ask you to all voice your opinions in the room. And I'm going to be asking you to help me, help you, help us, help our kids, and help your justice to push this into a full-blown investigation. And hallelujah, we've finally done it. It's only taken us 6 years, but you know, we've had the opportunities near this before. We've had universities trying to push things in Parliament. I worked my fucking ass off getting universities and hospitals behind us, you know, pushing, and we managed to get people, we managed to get MPs. I mean, look what the fucking MP in Stockport, and if you go back, you'll see when I was living in Stockport, when I did Walk for Justice in 2013, who my MP was, what she achieved with Rotherham. You know, it takes us to take the power back to go and do it. If you walk in with the attitude, they're not going to listen to me, they're not going to do it. You walk into the attitude and go, they will listen to me. She was typing like goodness knows what by the end of that conversation. And all of that has been sent over now to everybody that will listen. You know, as soon as you say you're going to take direct action, mate, it gets sent to people to find out how serious you are. When I make calls like that, and I make calls like that, Boris Johnson, right, on the first day of being put into Parliament, got a call like that on his email, on his answering machine immediately. Nobody was in the office, it was on his answering machine. So his answering machine would be played by everybody in there, and they'll have to listen to the whole message. He was given 18 months, then he got a call the next day and was given 6 months, then he was given 6 weeks to basically get this matter sorted. We got the inquiry by the 17th, you know. How fucking great is that, of a network of people who've sent emails, people who've made phone calls? It's not just me doing this. I fucking make a call like this every day, be it to the press, be it to Parliament, be it to MPs, be it to even ringing the adoption agency and letting them know, I'm still here, mate, I haven't gone anywhere, and I'm going to kick your ass in court and sue you, so you better be looking after my kids and making sure everything's okay. And to Wrexham Adoption Agency, I'll say it again, like I've said, one more hair on my kid's head, and you know, every piece of person, one day I will have access to every record that's ever touched my children with every name on it, and I will one day have a day where I don't have children that I don't have to worry about. And one day, if I don't get my justice the legal way, then I will take justice my way. And I'm willing to do this the legal way, the proper way, the foundational way. Yes, they can say, you know, you can't beat the system with the system. Yes, you can beat the system with the system. And yes, you can. There's uneducated fools misdiagnosing people. There's uneducated fools freaking giving people wrong information. Have you ever seen The Labyrinth? You don't want to go that way will take you straight to that castle. Well, there's a lot of people sending parents that come to the internet, like me. I was one of these parents who came on and I put social services, I got my kids, they got my kids, what do I do? And all this stuff come up. First person, Ian Joseph, ran away. Then it was Belinda McKenzie and Sabine McNeil with their petition. And then it was Families for Justice with Ian Joseph. And you couldn't get in or involved or through the door and whatever. And that's all there was. And for somebody whose child had already been taken, the first show that I went on to was a radio show with Andy Peacher, I think that's one of it. Andy Peacher, where Ian Joseph was on. I said, I can't run away. I've got kids. I've got kids in care. What you want me to kidnap them? You want me to run away? I did think about it. I did plan it. I still do. Every day it crosses my mind. Every day I have to battle with not going and fucking shooting people in the fucking heads and bounding people up to chairs and going and getting my kids and getting the fuck out of there. Fucking hell, 150 grand. There's people who do it for me, for fuck's sake. Of course I think about it. I would be inhumane if I didn't. If a psychiatrist asked me if I thought about these things and I didn't, he would wonder whether I was sick in the head because I didn't think about stuff like this. It would be unnatural if I didn't think about this because they've taken my kids, they've stolen my kids, they've kidnapped my kids. And, you know, if you're here, then I'm assuming they have to you too. If not, you're just an incompetent parent that isn't responsible enough for children. You need to step the fuck away. So people like myself that really have had a miscarriage of justice, that really have had fucking kids stolen, taken, no fucking reason for it. Didn't need to work with them on alcohol projects. Didn't need to work with them on drug projects. Didn't need to work with them on DV. I've been clear of Stephen, and it is his decision. He left. I took him to court to force him to actually see his kids. He said no. So long gone, 4 years. You know, even parents, grandparents were offered to see the kids. Even family were offered to see the kids. Stephen and Stephen's family were even offered the children after they were taken off of me. You know, so don't anybody ever say I was a parent alienator to Stephen in whatsoever. Yes, I fought him over having alcohol around the kids. And yes, I fought him over taking the kids around environments that weren't, you know, like Aaron was 6 months old, for fuck's sake, and he wanted cans on the park at 10 o'clock in the fucking morning. Go fuck yourself. Go sort your shit out, you know. It might be our children, but I'll kick your ass even harder if I'm not with you when they're our children. Yeah, remember that. They're our children. Yeah, not your children. They're our children. Not my children, ours. Yeah, so remember that. Yeah, you dads, you mums, remember that. They're ours. Yeah, they ain't his and they ain't yours. They're ours, right? So when it's ours, it's both of you. So if father is slipping, mother's slipping, you kick each other's fucking asses. Because if you want your children to be the best versions of themselves, they need both parents, and you have to hold them accountable. If they're not good enough fucking parents, you hold them fucking accountable. And it's about time our judiciary system did the same. If people neglect their kids, they should be pulling them back and go, you fucking fucked her, you created the child, you're responsible. If you don't, you go to fucking prison. Simple as that. Bang. You commit a crime to your child, you go to prison. Simple as that. Bang. You're struggling with your needs? Yes, we will support you, but there's going to be provisions in place. You know, at the end of the day, we should be supporting families, helping families. Our parliament should be empowering, inspiring, goal setting, creating visions for our world, for our community, you know, really empowering people, getting people hoping, dreaming, inspired. Who do you want to be? Who are you? What are you about? They shouldn't just be having fucking meetings talking about building walls and perimeters and shutting the world down from each other and alienating us and getting us prepared for a no vote system and the official actual crunch from Agenda 21. So we got to stop it. So anyway, the way you're going to stop it, do the same. Bring your local police officer, say, look, you've been on social media, you're meeting lots of different parents, you're hearing lots of different stories. If you were sat on a park and a child come up to you and said that their foster carer was abusing them, what would you do about that? Would you just go home and leave that? So if you're on social media and a child tells you, or a person tells you that they were abused in foster care, if I was a social worker, I'd have to report that. If I was a teacher, I'd have to report that. If I was a youth worker, I'd have to report that. When we're individuals, we have to report that. So it's time to start reporting. We have to come together now to write our witness statements. So what would be like the next stage now would be for a police officer to come out and take my statement of all these crimes and everything. So I need to put together a fucking good file because I've got 9 years, well, longer than that. I've got 41 years to put together from the very, 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 very first day I was removed from my mother. I wasn't taken from the breast though, because my mother chose not to breastfeed. So I don't know the official story around my removal. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether my nan took me from my mum's arms, whether anybody from the hospital did it, whether anyone was involved. My mother has always refused to talk to me about all this stuff. I bet she'll wish she had done now, because I could have just dealt with it with my family and healed that way. But she's the one who chose to go to the papers about me. She started this fight first. So it's obviously turned into something quite serious now. So, but obviously I've had an annoying mother who's had me in the media for many years, writing articles to Woman's Own and The Sun and Daily Mail. And fucking hell, my first bra and knickers when I was 11 was posted in fucking Bella magazine, for God's sake. Seriously, there is a picture of me in Bella fucking magazine in my bra and knickers, and the picture of me in my uniform for Bohan School. So imagine being the 11-year-old starting high school for the first time when you've just been in the fucking magazine with you in your bra and knickers and your school uniform, and how proud your mother is that she's now glad that you are finally home after not raising you, and you get to drop her off at school on the first day of high school, and you put a fucking picture of her in her bra and fucking knickers in Bella magazine. Ugh, seriously, there's loads. Obviously, I've had many surnames. So anyway, I think the police already think I'm crazy. They have had to watch many of my lives, my ranting ones, where Lisa is claiming I'm threatening to kill her. Fucking hell, seriously, I want to string the woman up. I do. She's like causing me absolute mayhem. And she's causing you mayhem as well, because it's stopping you from listening to me. And I'm telling you, get off this fucking live. Don't do anything else unless you're coming to Portsmouth. And if you do want to come to Portsmouth, I'm happy to meet up with anybody that's down here. I'm even happy to have a place that we all just sit and huddle and listen to the music and enjoy it from the other side of the fence. It's no different than having your back to them, is it? So you can hear it from outside the little fence. And between the lot of us, obviously, we can probably set a barbecue up and watch everybody's kids and stuff like that. So, and I might be able to do a bit of networking. And if we manage to get tickets, we get tickets. If we don't, we don't. So between the lot of us, we might be able to all help each other. So who knows? Maybe you're spontaneous like me and you'll now go and jump on a bus or a train and come and enjoy Portsmouth for the weekend. And by Monday, all be ready to literally make sure you funnel absolutely everything into that child inquiry by the Department of Education. And not only that, then you're going to email a copy of it to say that you have just submitted your evidence to them. It's going to go all the way through, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll have all of your team ready around you to bring your private prosecution as well as the class action. And hopefully we can all just literally start chilling out and start healing and getting on with our lives, knowing that the proper processes are being followed, and probably take about 18 months. But in 18 months, yeah, chances are if this all goes to an investigation, that could be seeing kids. Yeah. A lot of the parents that were part of the child abuse inquiry who had kids taken as a result of childhood sexual trauma have re-met adopted kids, and children in foster care, some have already got theirs home. I will say as well, one of the things that I love about this, I hate everything about this. I hate absolutely everything about doing this. I don't have any enjoyment doing this. It doesn't bring me any pleasure doing all this. But one thing that I do get happy moments from is I just pop up in my PMs and I'll get a picture of a child, and it's just a very short message, and it's either them just because obviously people are told not to communicate with me by social, so people could talk to me in quiet. Nobody sort of goes in and goes, hey, I'm working with Kellycon, because if you do, they'll just say, oh, she's mad, and if you do, you lose your kids. So people don't, but they also know that that's not really true. So I'll get pictures, and it will either be we're home, which means we're home from the hospital, or we're home from they've been in an assessment unit, or court's finished, we're home, everything's good because a baby's been taken, or a child or whatever, or the process is over, they're leaving us alone, and they'll send me like a picture, and it's really, really lovely. And I've got another one this week from the mum that contacted me from where I was, which is why I got involved. So from Leyland. So I've got all the pictures. She's been home 7 weeks now, and she's got 4 weeks left till the final trial, but she's gone through everything. She's had to go to a mother and baby unit. She's had to go through all of it. They applied to the father, do they want? Fathers tend not to, that's why, and then they blame the mother, but it's not, it's the father, because the mother has nothing to do with it. The mother can't control whether the father gets involved with these processes at all. No involvement whatsoever. It will come directly from the courts. They have to locate the mother and father. The mother can't say whether or not you turn up or not. And if you don't want to be around each other, you don't have to be. You can be in opposite sides. It's only the father who alienates himself. And mothers that alienate themselves by not turning up. I attended everything. So, yeah, so basically that's all we've got to be doing now. Don't be focused on anything else other than going out, enjoying nature, doing what you love, being happy, living in joy, being on purpose, and putting some time aside to write. And it's not about having a public life. It's not about having an ego. It's not about Kelly show or Oliver show or Claire show or Amber show. It's just about you living your life, but also remembering that you don't just have to pack up and put your kids in a suitcase in the loft, and actually get that paperwork out and serve it back to them. And we're going to do it in such a way now between all of us as a network. And don't forget, we've got people like Jerry Hanna, who's moving things forward. We've got other people. We've got people working in different systems in EU, United Nations, all of that. Good people who've now become MPs. So don't forget, when I came into this in July 2013, people have gone to university, they've graduated, they've gone into positions. My own sister's become a police officer, so she's got 1 more year to go. And one of my other sisters, politician, she's got 1 more year to go. My son, gone directly into GM cropping, got 1 year to go. I'm anti-GM crop, remember? My son wants to understand whether these chemicals are really actually causing us mutations and problems. So he's going right into the chemistry of all of that. My friend Monique obviously showed my video again in United Nations. She's a personal friend from Coaching World who created Autism Women Matter as a result of my kids being taken. So that was designed directly out of sitting and crying in a living room down in Jägermasters with her, not knowing what the fuck to do. So and smoking goodness knows how many fags. Goodness knows how many fags we went through, I don't know. So that was her way of coping with Aaron and Faith being taken, because, you know, we would sit in the park with the kids, so she knew Aaron and Faith like since babies, and Liam and Daniel as well. So, and lots of other people have gone off and done stuff. So we can bring this all together and push into this inquiry. A group of people will sit and have to calculate all of this evidence, and then they will put together a file. So go on to the adoption inquiry and the adoption debate, and if you missed it and didn't get involved, it's your own fucking fault. It's why we're still here fighting, and we're going to still here be fighting until you actually do as I'm saying. And it's important that you do. I'm an interventionist by trade. It's what I do. It's what I'm trained to do. It's what I'm natural to do. Just because you're not paying me a wage and you're not paying for my time, in fact, it means you should respect my time even more, because I'm working pro bono and getting very much in debt doing so. The Lord blesses in many ways, but right now I need a payday, so someone's got to pay my wage from this moment forward. Well, from September forward. I'm only on sick for a month now, and my maternity leave doesn't cover me anymore. So I'm really up shit creek. I'm not entitled to benefits unless I go disabled, in the way that most people are, because I've been self-employed. And if I make myself unintentionally employed, then it has to be through disability sickness, and not just, hey, I want to be at home with my kids. By the age of 2, so as soon as Shiloh turns 2 in November, I have to be back at work anyway, past Christmas. So it's just the way it works. So anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Catch up with you later. Thanks for being a witness. You can really hear the point of call now is that's got to be sent in an email. I will then get a phone call. Notice she didn't take my telephone number or anything. They've got everything on record. They know who I am. Got the telephone number and everything. So she's meant to ask for all that, because the fact is I have a reference number. So you can do the same. So literally just ring up your local, go into your local police. It's a bit difficult live in there, so make a phone call. Ideally, you got to go in. So go in and literally just say that I've been witness to even just Kelly's, the kidnap of Kelly's. I've looked in, I've seen the paperwork. If you haven't, come down, see it, I'll show you. I've got no problems with that. If you want to see it, you can have a look. And again, you know, if you do want to come down to Portsmouth this weekend, like literally all the way through to bank holiday, you know, Victorious is on a weekend. Go online, Google Victorious, go on to Crackbook, Google Victorious, have a look, see who's on the lineup, see what's going on. You've seen some of it being set up while we've been here. And like I've said, you don't even have to have a ticket for the event. You can just come down, pitch up, and chill out and enjoy the music and enjoy the atmosphere and stay out of trouble, because you're on my home pitch. I live here, unfortunately. Just, yeah. So bring some class. That would be good. So make it a better place just because you were here, you know what I mean? So if you're a graph artist, come do something. If you're a street performer, come do something. If you've got talent, come do something. Come away from your own town for a bit. Come down here. Come see the hovercraft sit by the sea. Listen to some music. We've got a hotel here where they'll all be staying now. And in fact, they've even got some bikey things now. As a fair on, there's stuff on the inside, stuff on the outside. So yeah, Google Victorious, come down. And if you want to meet up with me, you don't have to. You can hide from me if you just want to hide from me. It's fine. You can get around Portsmouth without seeing me. That's fine. But if people do want to, and people do start messaging saying, "Hey, I'm on Portsmouth," I frit around all the time. I don't like to have everyone dragging around with me, but I'm happy to pitch up where we can all come back and forth and meet up with each other. And you know, the people who are in chairs or don't want to walk around and are quite happy with where we pitch can govern the camp for the day, week, whatever. So, yeah, just an idea. So, see you tomorrow. Get your fucking submissions in, seriously, or I'll fucking kill you and stick a fucking bullet to your head. Is that a direct threat, is it? Because I wouldn't do that. But seriously, please, 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 I urge you, I beg you to put your submissions in. Let me sit there at that reading and hear that they've called an investigation into